Hello, friendos. It's your friendly neighborhood fantasy baseball head, Chris Welsh. Today on Fantasy Pros, we're talking about the 13 undervalued players that you have got to target in your drafts. Are you ready? I know you are, but first, how would you like to win a free 1-year premium upgrade to everything Fantasy Pros has to offer? All you've got to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros MLB YouTube channel and comment on this video below. And that is it. Whether you're looking for custom mock drafts, salary cap draft tools, or in-depth analysis of your fantasy performance, Fantasy Pros Premium has the tools to help you win. Unlock the most powerful fantasy tools in the industry. Don't want to wait for the giveaway? Sign up today at fantasypros.com/premium and start playing smarter, not harder. Now it's time for the undervalued players that you have got to target. As we count down, coming in at number 13, Arizona Diamondbacks outfielder or DH, Lourdes Gurriel. Lourdes is coming off a career worst in 2022, hitting only 5 home runs. This is only 1 year removed, though, from a 21 home run season where he also had 84 RBI. Lourdes' move to Arizona has led to many questions, but one thing we've seen all spring long is Lourdes hitting third for the D-backs. Now, Arizona were one of the top 5 most running teams in 2022. So hitting in front of Gurriel would be Corbin Carroll and potentially Ketel Marte. The RBI opportunities in front of Lourdes while hitting 3 could lead to a huge bounce back season. The outfield is crowded and the DH spot could potentially get filled by Evan Longoria, but the way the team has used him seems to imply he won't be out of the lineup much. His ADP of 234 with, by the way, a low on Yahoo of 342, Lourdes might be the lowest ranked number 3 hitter in the league, assuming he stays there. Number 12 on the list, Washington Nationals first baseman, or DH, Joey Meneses. Meneses is coming off a fantastic small season run with the Nationals last year where he hit 13 home runs in just 56 games. Meneses carried over this great 2022 into the 2023 WBC, where he is currently still hitting over 350 with 2 homers, 6 RBI in just 5 games, with, as of recording this, still time to go. Steamer is projecting Meneses for 25 home runs with a 261 batting average. Whether he's at first or DH, it looks like he's going to be hitting in a prime spot of their lineup at 3. With an ADP of 195, Meneses' homer and RBIs are just being greatly undervalued, and that means you get to reap the rewards. Number 11 on our undervalued list, Colorado Rockies outfielder Jurickson Profar. Profar did not have a team until he finished up with the WBC playing for the Netherlands, where he just signed an almost $8 million deal with the Rockies. The Rockies then announced that he would be playing in left field and potentially leading off. In 2022, Profar had 15 home runs and 5 stolen bases with the Padres. He's going to see an increase in plate appearances leading off, and he's going to get to hit in Coors Field. Profar has an ADP at 365 on Fantasy Pros. Now, some sites are catching up as we have seen him around the 250s now that he has a team. Leagues have not fully caught back up to Profar's new home, but you can, and you can take all the upside. Coming in at number 10, New York Yankees starting pitcher Clarke Schmidt. Now, Clarke Schmidt has taken some of his new arsenal into this year's spring training, and we've seen some all-or-nothing results. He's had a bit of an inflated ERA at 4, but check this out, a .69 whip. Nice. To go along with 17 strikeouts in just 11 2/3 innings pitched. Schmidt altered a slider into a sweeper, and then he added a cutter, which has been huge success so far this spring. His spot on the rotation could have been a little bit more in question, but he seems to have that locked down with Rodon out, and if he keeps rolling, he should be able to maintain that spot for most of the year. ATC projects Schmidt at 100 innings pitched, and if he beats that, he's going to destroy his ADP, which currently is at 357. Number 9, Los Angeles Dodgers DH JD Martinez. There is no doubt a DH-only player has to perform because of the flexibility they take away. JD Martinez, though, is just that. 2022, Martinez had the lowest full-season home run total since 2013. Projections agree that this is something we can brush off, as every system sees 20-plus homers coming back to JD Martinez. The Bat X projects 74 runs and 80 RBI. His ADP doesn't match up with the potential production at 188 on Fantasy Pros ADP, and he's even going beyond 200 on NFBC. Hitting 5 in the Dodgers lineup could lead to a big offensive potential for a guy that was consistent as consistent gets up until 2022. Don't let the DH scare you. Enjoy the crazy value. Number 8, Arizona Diamondbacks second baseman Ketel Marte. Now, Marte is coming off of the lowest BABIP of his career at 276, where he averaged almost 40 points higher on his career. Marte's always hit the ball hard. He always does that, but he loses his ability to hit for contact, or at least he has as of recent. Projections see a bounce back with an almost 30-point increase in batting average and home run numbers that should touch around 20. We're going to talk about it more, but second base is a struggle. Ketel Marte, though, might be one of the best deals of any previously productive middle infielder with an ADP of 193. We'll also see Marte hit 2 in the D-backs lineup and is a real 4-category threat and massively undervalued fantasy player. Number 7, Texas Rangers starting pitcher Andrew Heaney. Who would like a starting pitcher with a 13K per 9, just about 2 walks per 9, and a 3 ERA? Well, that's who Heaney was last year. Now, his health is a big concern, and I lovingly call him Walmart Jacob deGrom because of the many aforementioned things. If Heaney reaches just 140 innings, as many like to point out with deGrom, he will break inside the top 100 overall of fantasy players, deGrom being the number 1 fantasy pitcher if he were to break it. Heaney currently is going outside the top 200 though. It's good to build in the concerns, but is a no-brainer post 150. That Texas Rangers team also has a lot of offensive and defensive support that give him a little extra boost we see from starters on other high-win teams. Andrew Heaney screams undervalued. Number 6, Cincinnati Reds outfielder Wil Myers. Outfield can really get away from us in our drafts in the later rounds. That's why I target Wil Myers, who also qualifies at first base, by the way. There is no greater ballpark for hitters than in Cincinnati, not even Colorado anymore. Myers is a real 20 home run, 10 stolen base threat for the Reds while he's also hitting 3. See, there's a trend, a lot of undervalued players that are hitting 3. Any bounce back, by the way, from Jonathan India or Joey Votto, who are hitting in front of him, will benefit Wil Myers. So count that in. His ADP, which sits around 290, gives very little risk and a ton of upside. Coming in at number 5, Atlanta Braves starting pitcher Charlie Morton. If we didn't look at Charlie Morton's age, we would laugh at where he's going compared to what he's doing on the field. Morton was able to push 170 innings pitched in 2022 with just under 11K per 9 at 10.7K per 9. His ERA was 4.34, but he had a 3.6 xFIP. Lot of room for positive regression. Morton has had at least 30 starts in 4 straight seasons, not counting the shortened season. Even at 39, Morton is projected for an under 4 ERA with 13 wins, by the way, and just short of 10K per 9 according to the bat projection system. The Braves provide more stability for wins, and his 150 ADP is easily 50 spots too low. Number 4, San Diego Padres starting pitcher Blake Snell. Snell legitimately could go where his pitching mate Yu Darvish is going if he could just go deeper into games. The arsenal in this stuff is kind of similar. Snell had a 12K per 9 last year, and he had a second half where he maintained a 2.19 ERA to go along with a 33% K percentage. Many projections have built in missed time, but he's still projected for 150 plus innings and over an 11K per 9. Targeting teams with great run support is never a bad idea, and between the high strikeouts and the superstars behind him, if Snell sees his innings increase, his ADP outside the top 100 is going to look really silly. Number 3, Colorado Rockies shortstop Ezekiel Tovar. Now, the young shortstop doesn't get the love the other top prospects get, yet he is hitting in one of the most hitter-friendly environments in baseball. He's a low strikeout threat and projected as nearly a 15-15 home run stolen base guy, not even across a full season. So if Tovar hits 9th, which we do see on roster resource, that's less than ideal. If he hits successfully early on though, he can easily move up this lineup. Tovar also may see an uptick in stolen bases as one of the beneficiaries to baseball's new rules. He has a shot to be a really good 3-category player and possibly even 4. Don't be surprised when the season ends and Tovar finishes higher in rankings than Carlos Correa. Coming in at number 2, Cleveland Guardians second baseman Andres Jimenez. Now, second base was already not good. We've talked about a few in here. And then Jose Altuve came along and got injured, and everything got worse. Andres Jimenez, though, stole the 4th most bases of qualified second baseman in 2022 with 20. With the rules change that we've talked about, where the guys can't throw over more than twice, we also have bigger bases. Derek Carty's the bat projections have already pushed him up. Not just a couple, though. How about 40% more from 20 up to 28 in 2023. Those 28 are the 3rd most projected at that position. Only Jazz Chisholm and Tommy Edman are projected for more. Yet, Jimenez is going 40 picks after Jazz and almost a round after Tommy Edman. If Jimenez reaches a 15-30 season, he will easily return a top 50 overall fantasy season at one of the worst positions to draft. At ADP 82 on FantasyPros, he is one of the most undervalued players in fantasy. But the number 1 is Angels starting pitcher Reed Detmers. Detmers in 2022 had a fastball that was averaging about 93 and a slider that was averaging around 86. Still fine. Well, this spring, we've seen a massive increase on Detmers' fastball, which is now sitting 2 miles an hour higher between 95 and 97, with what also looks like a new power slider. It was 86 before. Now it's pushing 88 to 91. Putting this velo uptick into context for this spring, Detmers has struck out 17 batters with a .77 whip. His FantasyPros ADP currently is sitting at 201. If Detmers carries over his spring success, he will more than return double on his ADP and push inside the top 100 value. He could be a league winner, he's a huge sleeper, and he is the number 1 most undervalued player that you need to target in your drafts. And those, my friends, are the 13 undervalued players that you've got to target in your upcoming drafts. Again, Lourdes Gurriel, Joey Meneses, Jurickson Profar, Clark Schmidt, JD Martinez, Ketel Marte, Andrew Heaney, Will Myers, and your top 5, Charlie Morton, Blake Snell, Ezekiel Tovar, Andres Jimenez, and Reed Detmers. Who do you think is undervalued? Comment below, and guess what? That's also your chance to win a premium upgrade to FantasyPros, as long as you're also subscribed. That's going to close out the episode. I'm Chris Welsh. Find me on Twitter @IsItTheWelsh, and I'll talk to you again next time.